What is up, everybody? Today behind me I've got two limited edition EK Supremacy Evo water blocks, and we're going to see if we can modify one of them to fit Threadripper's STR4 socket. So before we get into kind of why we're wanting to do this, it's kind of best to look at what happened to EK Supremacy lineup. Now, they've been trying to replace the Supremacy lineup with the Velocity series, the Velocity being EK's new high-end water block. Well, before this, their Supremacy line actually reached a 10th anniversary milestone of EK, and in doing so, they decided to come out with this. This is a limited edition release of the EK Supremacy Evo water block, and if you haven't seen one of these before, you're in for a treat. So only 100 of these were made, and of course, Jake and I couldn't resist buying one each, so we actually have a set. This one is number 75 out of 100, and take a look at this. So as you can see here, they came out with a very special limited edition design for the EK Supremacy Evo water block. It features this beautiful angled design gold piece right here in the middle, and it comes with a commemorative water block of EK's first CPU water block. And on the back of it features a signature built into it of the founder of EK himself. So this design was really well received by the public because it's absolutely stunning, and it had many of us wondering if EK was going to bring this design to the Supremacy lineup, or it was only going to be available in this limited edition kit. Well, apparently EK was listening, because for the final iteration of the Supremacy Evo, they did bring this design to mass market, and they produced many multiple color variants of this block you see here, and they made 100 of each. And the one I have here in front of me is their nickel edition, which features the plexi backing and the nickel up front. Now, I bought this for my toe because I knew this is the color scheme that I really like seeing inside of it, and so whenever I redid my build, I wanted this featured front and center. Which brings me to the next part of this video. We decided that my toe is going to have a full top-of-the-line A&D build, which means Threadripper, which means their STR4 socket, which unfortunately this is not compatible with. Which brings me to this. EK did produce a Supremacy Evo for Threadripper. And our hope here today is that we can transplant this limited edition face to this Threadripper block. So from the looks online, it looks like EK did just transplant their Evo line to a special mounting plate for the Threadripper series, which would make sense. Now, I actually haven't opened either of these, so I'm going to be looking at it for the first time along with you guys, and we're going to see if this is even possible. Alright, so here is the limited edition nickel version of the Supremacy Evo. Alright, and here is the Threadripper edition. Alright, so from the looks of it so far, it does seem that they are identical, which would make sense. I mean, we can't expect EK to produce a whole different design from their Supremacy lineup. It would make more sense that they would transplant this design to the actual mounting plate of this socket. Now we can see that it's actually rotated, where this direction is the same, and it looks like they are identical in size. And if that's the case, the goal is to pop these off here in the back and see if we can mount this limited edition plate to the Threadripper mount right here. So without further ado, let's crack open the back and let's see if we can get these off. Now, we're going to have to be careful because even though they're using the same outer design, we have to check and make sure that everything else lines up on the inside. Now, the only thing I expect to see, and which is what we're hoping for, is that the only difference might be a jet plate, which we can then transplant and stick this right back on top. But man, if this works, I mean, it's going to be stunning because this is going to have this nice nickel piece right here that's going to be flanked by these nickel screw tops right here. Well, let's flip them over. I've got my Allen keys. And let's see if we can get these apart. Well, on the back side of things, we notice immediately that the cold plate for Threadripper, of course, is much larger because it's a much larger chip. But it still seems like the screws are going to line up. All right, so we're gonna take our Allen key and let's get these two opened up. Okay, cold plate released. We can see the mounting block here, and the most important thing, besides the jet plate itself, is this gasket. So you can see that this design goes around right here, this gasket, and of course recesses into the block itself. And we're gonna hope that when we pull this off, they can physically just be swapped like this. Here's the jet plate, which appears to be identical, although this one has two of them, and the Threadripper just has one. And from the looks of it, they look identical. Let's take a look at these jet plates. Yeah, perfect. So they're the same, so I'm just going to transplant one over here. Remove this other one since it wasn't on the other one. Oh, sorry, it's backwards. And they sure look like they're going to line up just fine. They had a grease, it looks like, a little oil for the O-ring, so I'm going to put that around over here. So from the looks of it, looks like this will transplant. Oh yeah, it sure does. Take the same cold plate. Put it back on. So just like the original one, I only have one jet plate instead of the two that were in the limited edition one. Because again, I'm making the assumption that these are identical because they sure look like it. And now we're going to reinstall. There we go. Wow. Look at that. Now that is a Threadripper block if I've ever seen one. That is stunning. If I take a look down in there, yep, I mean everything seems to be lining up right. I can see the gasket sitting properly on the cold plate. This looks great. Of course the EK logo is a different orientation, but we'll just pop that off and reorient for the final build. This looks phenomenal. And for the sake of redundancy, this transplanted just fine. And get a load of that. That is awesome. So there you have it. This is our limited edition version of the Threadripper Supremacy Evo. Here it is alongside the original gold Supremacy Evo. I just absolutely love that angle design. To me, this blows the velocity out of the water. I don't need RGB when you've got something like this. So there you have it. This was a very simple mod, but it's going to be in the very heart of our tow revision. So for us, this was something we really wanted to do and see if it was possible, but we didn't know till just now. And after seeing the results, I mean, I cannot wait to see this in the middle of a new tow revision. Stay tuned for that. As always, thanks for watching. We appreciate you guys. Take care.